it is clear that that's who conservatives want in the White House, okay? That's who they supported. They didn't give a damn about the 34 indictments. They didn't give a damn about 2 impeachments. They didn't give a damn about all the legal issues and the lawfare that the Democrats engaged in. They said, Joe, that's who we want. This is the difference, and I said this to a lot of people, Bill. The conservatives said, we want that guy. That's who we want. And the voters decided who the Republican nominee is going to be. When you look at the Democrats, they didn't do it with Obama, that's true. Okay?
Didn't do what?
They greased the skids. This is the person we want. It's her turn. It was Hillary's turn in 2016.
In today's video, Stephen A. Smith is letting it rip as he sits down with Bill Maher. And trust me, no one's getting a participation trophy here. They're torching Hollywood's most untouchable myths, and it's about time. You think the industry's Trump meltdown is about politics? Please, it's pure ego. These so-called moral guides of America, half of them couldn't even find Kansas on a map without asking Siri. They don't fear Trump because he's a threat to democracy. They fear him because he's a giant, blinding mirror to their own narcissism. The real tea. Hollywood's obsession with progressive values is just a fancy disguise for straight-up self-interest. They don't hate Trump because he's the outsider. They hate him because he refuses to kiss the ring they think they're wearing. Let's be real. Hollywood created the monster they're now pretending to run from. And Bill Maher, oh, he's not pulling punches either. Get ready for a raw gloves-off conversation that's gonna make a lot of people squirm. Hit that play button. This one's gonna be hot.
Come on now. And then I'll never forget this. Bill, I swear to you, I love your show, Real Time. I'm a huge fan. I watch it every chance I get. I have never.
No, real fans watch it every week. You watch it every chance you get. I'm just fucking with you.
Because I got multiple jobs. But here's the deal, Bill. But I TiVo it. I tell you that, but the DVR it, rather. That's TiVo, DVR.
I'm going to send you a telegram about that.
You told him myself. Here's the deal, man. I have never wanted to be on your show more than I wanted to be on your show when Biden announced that he was going to run for re-election. Because I'm like this, what y'all going to say now? This is some straight bullshit. You got a situation where you won the midterm. You denied, you halted, you warded off the red wave. And you, knowing you're going to be 81 at election time, knowing you're going to be 82 in office, right? It wasn't the midterm. It was when the State of the Union address took place. And I saw these people. Remember, the liberals, so when you call yourself progressives.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're looking forward with a dude that's going to be 82 and would leave office when he's 86. Really, y'all? I'm sitting there like, you got to be shitting me. This is what you're talking about? And I'm like, I knew I wasn't voting for Trump. I knew that wasn't going to happen. But I was saying to myself, what are you thinking? What are you thinking? And then I looked at their bullpen. They had no one.
Stephen A. Smith and Bill Maher are dropping some hard truths, and the Democratic Party is definitely not going to like it. They're calling out the brutal reality. The Dems have sprinted so far into extreme progressive territory that they're straight up losing the moderates and independents they need to survive. While everyday Americans are sweating over rent, groceries, gas prices, and basic safety, the party's too busy arguing about pronouns, defunding the police, and throwing open the border. Maher goes off, slamming Democrats for caring more about symbolic woke points than actually fixing real problems. And yeah, voters are noticing. The result? Swing state voters, working class families, the people who actually decide elections, are feeling totally abandoned. They're sick of being talked down to, sick of being labeled backward for caring about things like jobs and security. Smith and Maher break it down. Until Democrats wake up and realize America doesn't run on hashtags and identity wars, they're going to keep bleeding support and handing wins to Republicans. If you thought 2025 was going to be a cakewalk, think again.
All right, Biden.
Well, that's not Obama. Obama earned it.
No, that's why I said he earned it. But in 26, and I'm not even trying to imply.
They voted. Hillary ran in the primary.
I'm not even trying to imply that she. But remember, they were complaining that Bernie Sanders had some momentum and was compromised by the Democratic Party because they were saying it was Hillary's turn. Bernie
Sanders, I love him, but he's too far left, and he would have been a bigger disaster than Kamala was.
That's fine. But what I'm saying to you is, still in all, Bill, what I would, shoot, it's rare that I disagree with you. What I'm saying is, the only thing I will push back on is, that's fine. But that's for the voter to decide.
Right.
And a lot of times the Democratic Party seems as if they've got their claws in the mix. Take Biden, for example. Okay, so, Clyburn helps him get through South Carolina. He ultimately goes to the Democratic nomination. He's the Democratic nominee for the president. He ultimately wins the election. There was supposed to be a red wave in 2022 in the midterms. The Republicans didn't pull that off. And Biden is feeling himself and saying, I ain't going anywhere. I'm not going to. I told y'all I was going to be a transitional president. I told y'all I was going to be a one-term dude. I'm just here as a stopgap to pave the way for the future of the Democratic Party. And then all of a sudden, he in office takes that power.
He was a veritable John the Baptist. Just the guy who goes before.
Come on, bro.
Bill Maher and Stephen A. Smith are tearing into the Democratic Party. And honestly, they're not wrong. They're calling out how the Dems have gotten so tangled up in extreme ideologies and performative woke culture that they're pushing away the very voters they need to win anything. Sure, some of the progressive stuff fires up the younger hardcore liberal base, but let's be real. To the average American just trying to survive inflation, crime, and an immigration mess, the Democrats look totally out of touch. Smith points out that even when Dems think they're being inclusive, they end up sounding condescending. And nothing turns off moderates faster than being talked down to like they're the problem. And Maher, he's brutal. He says the party has zero self-awareness. Instead of listening to voters' real concerns, they double down on the same woke talking points that make them sound more like an activist club than a political party ready to govern. Bottom line, and right now, a lot of swing voters, and even some lifelong Democrats, are feeling like the only ones talking any common sense are, the Republicans. If the Democrats don't fix this massive disconnect fast, they're basically handing the next elections over on a silver platter.
There's no one that could compete with Donald Trump.
Well, not on a charisma level.
Fair. Okay,
Because,
fair enough.
no,
but charisma is what gets you votes, bro.
Absolutely. And I've said it a million times, insanity photographs.
Mm-hmm.
It really does. I mean, it's charismatic. But I have so many things that I must contend here with.
Sure.
One, you're an ageist. There are people who are completely crackling right at 82. So it's always a case. It's always a case-by-case basis.
Right? Yeah. Nancy Pelosi don't have the problems that Biden have. I'm very supportive of in terms of Nancy Pelosi, in terms of how sharp she is. I'm not. I don't believe I'm an ageist.
Nancy Pelosi has lost a step in public, also, to be perfectly honest. But the job is never what you do in public. The job is done in the Oval Office.
Okay.
All you have to do is I never thought Biden couldn't do the job. The job is actually sitting in the Oval Office, making decisions. He's not crazy. He hasn't lost his mind. He's not senile. He just can't do the public part. He never could do it well. And add the age thing, and you're going to get things like, I killed Medicare, or whatever the fuck he said. By the way, Trump, no one has been harder on Trump or more against Trump, blah, blah, blah. I don't have to establish my credentials. But he does do things once in a while that either make me genuinely laugh or make me genuinely go, oh, that's good. Yes. Like when he said in that debate, he had a moment where he went, I don't know what he said.
Exactly.
And I don't think
there.
And I don't think he knows
what he said. I mean, we crack it up.
That's what people love about him.
Yes.
It's like he's crazy, but crazy people don't have the time to pretend about shit.
Bill Maher is going straight for the jugular, arguing that woke culture has gotten so out of control, it's actually driving moderates, and even some lifelong liberals, straight into the arms of conservatives. Yeah. You heard that right. The more the left pushes extreme progressive overreach, the more Trump's base grows. You couldn't write a better recruitment ad for MAGA if you tried. Maher and Stephen A. Smith also go hard at cancel culture, calling it exactly what it is, a free speech killer. They're talking about people getting wrecked over one bad tweet or a wrong opinion, and how that kind of social blacklisting doesn't just hurt individuals. It makes regular folks scared to even engage with progressive ideas at all. And here's the real kicker. This isn't just some random rant. Their conversation digs deep into how culture, politics, and personal ambition are all colliding, and how Trump, love him or hate him, is the byproduct of a left that refuses to look in the mirror. Trust me, you do not want to miss this one. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and let's keep these conversations rolling. Thanks for watching.